Welcome to the second Chronicle of Terror episode. Today, we travel to Portland, Oregon, and tell the tale of the Shanghai tunnels. I hope you enjoy this episode and it earns your subscription today. The haunting of the Shanghai tunnels. In the heart of Portland's old town, beneath the cobblestone streets and bustling markets, lay a dark secret. The Shanghai tunnels, a network of underground passageways, whispered tales of betrayal and despair. One such tale was of Thomas Blake, a sailor who met a grim fate in these haunted depths. It was a chilly evening in November 1873 when Thomas Blake's ship docked in Portland after a grueling voyage from San Francisco. The sailor, weary from months at sea, sought refuge in the warm glow of Erickson's saloon on Northwest 2nd Avenue. The saloon was a haven for sailors, filled with the sounds of raucous laughter and clinking glasses, a place where men could drown their sorrows and share tales of the sea. Thomas, eager to unwind, found a seat at the bar and ordered a pint of ale. He was a burly man with a weathered face, his skin tanned and rough from years of sun and salt water. As he drank, he failed to notice the watchful eyes of a man in the corner, a figure known as Big Bill McGinty, one of the most notorious Shanghaiers in Portland. Big Bill had perfected the art of Shanghaiing, the practice of kidnapping men to serve as crew on ships. His method was simple but effective: drug the unsuspecting victim and sell them to ship captains in need of hands. Tonight, he had set his sights on Thomas Blake. As the night wore on, Thomas drank heavily, his vision blurring and limbs growing heavy. He didn't realize that his ale had been laced with opium, courtesy of Big Bill. Suddenly, the floor beneath him gave way and he plunged into darkness, falling through a trapdoor, a hidden entrance to the Shanghai tunnels. Thomas awoke in a dank, musty cell deep beneath the city streets. The air was thick with the stench of mold and decay, and he could hear the distant sound of water dripping. His head throbbed, and as he tried to sit up, he realized his hands were bound. Around him, other men lay unconscious or groaning in pain, victims of the same fate. The tunnels had originally been constructed in the mid-19th century to connect the basements of downtown businesses to the Willamette River waterfront. These passageways allowed for the easy movement of goods from ships to storage areas, helping businesses avoid the congested streets above. What began as a practical solution for transporting merchandise quickly became a shadowy underworld for illicit activities. One stormy night, driven by a desperate need for freedom, Thomas made an escape attempt. He managed to break free from his bonds and slip through the bars of his cell, but as he navigated the dark, winding tunnels, he was caught by Big Bill and his men. They beat him, mercilessly leaving him for dead in a forgotten corner of the tunnels. Thomas's body was never found, but his spirit lingered, bound by rage and sorrow. Half a century later, in October 1923, the city was buzzing with rumors of a smuggler's treasure hidden deep within the tunnels. During Prohibition, from 1920 to 1933, the underground passages had been repurposed by bootleggers to transport illegal alcohol. This era of Prohibition was marked by an immense demand for illicit booze, and smugglers found the Shanghai tunnels perfect for their covert operations. It was said that a notorious smuggler named Jack Riley had stashed a fortune in gold and contraband in a secret room. Black Jack was infamous along the West Coast, known for his ruthless efficiency and uncanny ability to evade the law. His network of tunnels, hidden compartments and secret rooms made him one of the most successful smugglers of his time. Riley had built his empire by capitalizing on the demand for alcohol during Prohibition. He would receive shipments from Canada and Mexico, moving the goods through the Shanghai tunnels to speakeasies and private clients. The tunnels allowed him to operate under the radar of law enforcement, who were constantly on the lookout for bootleggers. Jonathan Carter, a treasure hunter driven by greed and ambition, arrived in Portland with hopes of finding the legendary cache. Born in 1885 in Boston, Massachusetts, Jonathan grew up fascinated by tales of adventure and hidden treasures. His father was a maritime trader, and Jonathan often spent time at the docks, listening to sailors' stories of far-off lands and buried fortunes. These early experiences sparked a lifelong passion for treasure hunting. By the age of 25, Jonathan had traveled extensively, from the Caribbean to the South Pacific, always in search of lost treasures. He had a reputation for being both meticulous and relentless. His expeditions often marked by detailed research and sheer determination. His exploits had earned him a modest fortune and a small measure of fame among fellow treasure hunters. In 1922, Jonathan came across an old map at an estate sale in New Orleans. The map, yellowed with age and covered in cryptic symbols, purported to show the locations of hidden caches used by smugglers during Prohibition. Intrigued, Jonathan began researching the map's origins, eventually tracing it back to Blackjack Riley. Convinced that the map was authentic, Jonathan spent the next year gathering information and preparing for an expedition to Portland. He meticulously plotted his journey, cross-referencing the map with historical records and interviewing anyone who might have information about the tunnels and their secrets. In October 1923, Jonathan arrived in Portland, his heart set on finding Riley's hidden treasure. Armed with old maps and lanterns, he descended into the tunnels from a hidden entrance in the basement of the Merchant Hotel on Southwest 3rd Avenue. The hotel was a relic of Portland's past, its grand facade hiding a history of secrets and scandals. The deeper he ventured, the colder the air became, pressing in on him like a shroud. The flickering light of his lantern cast eerie shadows on the walls, and the sound of his footsteps echoed in the narrow passageways. As Jonathan explored the tunnels, he stumbled upon a series of hidden rooms beneath the New Market Theatre. Each room seemed more sinister than the last, filled with rotting crates, rusted tools, and the remnants of illicit dealings. In one such room, he found a trapdoor concealed beneath a pile of debris. His heart raced as he pried it open, revealing a narrow staircase leading further down into the depths. The staircase was steep and narrow, the wooden steps creaking under his weight. At the bottom of the stairs, he entered a chamber that seemed untouched by time. The walls were lined with old wooden shelves, covered in dust and cobwebs. In the center of the room lay a chest, its surface adorned with intricate carvings. Jonathan's eyes gleamed with anticipation as he approached the chest. He had heard stories of the smuggler's treasure, of gold coins and precious jewels hidden away from prying eyes. His hands trembled as he reached out to touch the chest, but the moment his fingers brushed the cold metal, a chilling wind swept through the chamber, extinguishing his lantern. In the suffocating darkness, Jonathan felt a presence, an icy grip on his shoulder. He turned to see the faint outline of a figure, its eyes glowing with malevolent intent. It was Thomas Blake, the sailor's ghost, his visage twisted by years of torment. The air grew heavy with the sound of chains rattling and distant anguished cries. Terrified, Jonathan tried to flee. But the tunnels twisted and turned, leading him in circles. Every path seemed to close in on him, the walls whispering tales of betrayal and death. The ghost of Thomas Blake pursued him relentlessly, driven by a desire for vengeance. Jonathan's mind raced as he stumbled through the dark passageways. He had heard stories of the sailor's ghost, of the restless spirit that haunted the tunnels, but he had never believed them until now. He could feel Thomas's presence, a cold, oppressive force that filled him with dread. In his frantic escape, Jonathan stumbled upon another trapdoor near the intersection of Northwest Couch Street and 4th Avenue. Desperate, he wrenched it open and descended into a final chamber. Here the walls were lined with shelves holding jars of preserved specimens, macabre trophies of the tunnel's grim history. The air was thick with the stench of decay and despair. As Jonathan backed away, his foot caught on a chain and he fell, striking his head on the cold stone floor. His vision blurred, and he saw the ghost of Thomas Blake standing over him, a look of sorrow and fury etched on his spectral face. The sailor's ghost raised a hand, and Jonathan felt a crushing weight on his chest. With a final, vengeful cry, the ghost vanished, leaving Jonathan alone in the darkness. Many years later, a group of urban explorers found Jonathan's lifeless body, his face frozen in an expression of sheer terror. The smuggler's treasure remained undiscovered, the secret rooms untouched, and the legend of the Shanghai tunnels grew ever darker. To this day, those who venture into the tunnels speak of the sailor's ghost, the treacherous trapdoors, and the hidden rooms filled with untold riches. So ends our second chronicle of terror. Thank you for taking your time to view our chilling tale. We hope to have earned your subscription today and look forward to having the opportunity to send a shiver down your spine once again. Please comment if you have a tale you would like to hear, and we will do our best to twist it into a macabre chronicle for your viewing pleasure.